Hi, in this video I'm going to give you an overview of ESS Reporter. If you've provided employee share scheme benefits to your employees, this software will allow you to report those details electronically to the ATO. When you first open Namich's ESS Reporter, you'll notice it starts in demo mode. I'm going to open an existing report and show you the different screens. On the main screen here you've got 7 buttons, and you basically need to step through these 7 steps to complete the report. Let's start by looking at the provider. Now the provider is the entity that's providing the employee share scheme benefit, so the employer. So just click this button. Now because I've already set a reporter for this report, this screen shows the details, but normally you just click this select from provider list and add a new provider. If, for example, you're an accountant and you're reporting for 5 or 6 clients, you'll have 5 or 6 providers in this list. As you can see, there's one provider in this list, and we can click this add button to add a new one. Or in this case, let's just click the edit button and show you the provider details screen. It's just got the name, browse for the license. Once you've attached the license, that's when it becomes registered. Put the address and your contact details, etc., and click save. That'll add it to this, and then you click select for report and you'll see this screen here. Now because special conditions or concessions apply to startups, you're asked, is this an employer startup or not? In this case I'm going to set to no, and if you're not sure, check with your accountant. We're now back at this screen where we've selected the provider, and just click update to commit this one to this report. The next step is setting the year. Now you can't change that once you've set it, so we'll skip that step. Employees, we'll skip this as well. We'll come back to that, and let's have a look at the supplier. The supplier is the person or entity that will be lodging this report with the ATO, the party that will be accessing the business portal or the agents portal. Now you can see here a load default button. Basically, if you are going to be lodging a number of reports for a number of clients, you can save the supplier details. There's a set default button down the bottom, and load default will basically load the saved supplier details. That'll just save you re-entering for each time you prepare a report for a client. If, however, you are the provider, you can click this same as provider, and that will pre-fill this screen with your details taken from the provider screen. And once the screen details have been completed, you click this update for this report button, and this will commit these details to the report. Let's now go back to the employees, step 3. Click on this button, and this shows you the employees that are currently included in this report. You can add employees, you can add it manually or by a tab delimited import, and you can edit and click check all, and that will run an edit check. We'll just uncheck them all, so they're all showing no here. Now we click check all. It runs some edit checks and tells you if there's any errors. Let's just have a look at one of the employees screen. You select it and click edit. This brings up the employee details screen. You can see the employee details, name, address, date of birth, address here. This is where the scheme, employee share scheme details. It's the type D, type S, and the reportable details change depending on the type of scheme it is. And then there's the acquisition date, reference number, plan date, and this is all in the specifications, or your tax agent or the Australian Tax Office can provide details about what should go into what field. And as I mentioned earlier, you can enter all these details on screen manually, or you can import them from a spreadsheet via our import template. Obviously it would be a lot quicker if you got hundreds or thousands even to do it via a spreadsheet. Save it as tab delimited and import it here. The software will run edit checks and allow you to do the same as if it was all manually added. So once you're done viewing the screen or entering the data, just click the save button, and that'll save all the details to the file. From this employee list screen, you can also generate a single statement, a PDF statement to give to an employee just by selecting the employee and click single ESS statement. There's also a copy. This will just copy the contents of this table. You can paste into a spreadsheet. And then there's an export button, and that will export all the employee data out into a tab delimited file, which you can open in a spreadsheet. You can edit that and then re-import it back in if there's a number of changes you need to make, for example. When you're done, you can close this screen, and that'll bring you back to the main screen. The next thing to look at here is the reference number. Now, this is not compulsory, but if you've got a client reference number or somehow you identify this report, then you can enter that here. And this brings us to step 6, data review. If you haven't completed the check all at step 3, then there'll be a number showing how many employees need to be checked. In this case it's 0, so we can proceed straight to step 7. The step 7 button is normally disabled until these above steps are completed, but because it's now enabled, let's click generate files. And here we can see 3 buttons. ESS statements. This is the button we click to generate the PDF statements to provide to the employees. The second button is the ESSAR lodgement file. This is the file you send to the tax office. And the third one is a summary of the ESAR file. Now, this is a text file which is basically for reference purposes. It shows you all the data that was included in the lodgement file. Just in case you want to review or double check what was actually sent, this is in an easy to read format. And when you finish generating files, you can click this close button. This will bring us back to the main screen. Now, everything we've covered is essentially in this how to use ESS Reporter button. If you click on this button, you'll see a summary of all the 7 steps. As we've covered, I'll just move this aside so you can see it lines up with the 7 steps. It just tells you step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then lodge the ESAR file with the ATO. And when you're finished, you can close the program and you'll be prompted to save the working file. Thanks for watching.